The chief's laughter echoed through his office. Benji Lukeman, you're telling me our village idiot is some kind of criminal mastermind? But the evidence was undeniable. Files spread across the desk told a story of manipulation spanning decades, of governments toppled and installed, of minds controlled from the shadows. The laughter died as reality set in. If this is true, the chief whispered, arresting him could trigger chaos. How many powerful people are under his control right now? The answer came swiftly. Within hours of the investigation going public, LGA chairman resigned, judges recused themselves from cases, and politicians made erratic decisions. Benji's network was activating, creating havoc as their puppet master prepared his endgame. By the time the truth came out, Benji Lukeman had vanished. The police had searched every suspected base. Nothing. No machine, no files, not even dust. From hiding, Benji watched the chaos with satisfaction. Let them see his power. Let them understand that invisibility had been his choice, not their dismissal. But Joe wasn't fighting the symptoms. He was attacking the disease. We can't destroy his machine if we can't find it, Joe told the emergency task force, but we can make it irrelevant. And then Joe had one brilliant idea. If they couldn't destroy the machine, what if they made it useless? How? Joe developed a method, not a weapon, but a technique. A mind-shielding technique that taught people how to block invasive thoughts, to guard their mind like a locked room, to reject anything that didn't belong. The mind-shielding technique wasn't technology, it was psychology, training people to recognize foreign thoughts, to question impulses that felt wrong, to reclaim control of their own consciousness. Joe worked with therapists, neuroscientists, anyone who understood the mind's defenses. They developed exercises, mantras, cognitive techniques that created mental firewalls. The technique spread like wildfire through social media, news broadcasts, emergency alerts. People began questioning their sudden urges, examining their decisions, building walls around their thoughts. One by one, Benji's puppets began cutting their strings. The criminal organizations continued their operations, but without coordinated political cover, they fell easily. Government officials made rational decisions again. The invisible web of control began unraveling. In his hideout, Benji watched his empire crumble on stolen news feeds. For the first time in decades, he felt what he'd tried to eliminate from his world: powerlessness. His greatest fear had come true. He'd lost control. The arrest was almost anticlimactic, found in an abandoned building, thin and desperate, trying to steal food from a convenience store. The man who had controlled nations, brought down by hunger and isolation. As they led him away in handcuffs, Benji looked back at Joe with something approaching respect. "You know," he said quietly, "in another life, we could have been partners." Joe watched the police car disappear into traffic, carrying away the puppet master who had nearly conquered the world through the simple power of being overlooked. The real victory wasn't in the arrest, it was in the awakening. People had learned to guard their minds, to question their impulses, to recognize when they weren't truly in control. The facade had fallen, but more importantly, the audience had learned to see through the performance. In the end, visibility had defeated invisibility, and the greatest mind controller of all had been the human capacity to think for itself.